Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you 10 takeaways from the book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, one of the most influential works of Stoic philosophy. Meditations is a collection of personal reflections and notes that Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, wrote during his military campaigns and political duties. He never intended them to be published, but they have survived as a testament of his wisdom and character. In this book, Marcus Aurelius explores various themes such as how to live a virtuous life, how to deal with difficult people, how to cope with death and suffering, how to appreciate nature and the divine, and how to find happiness and peace in a chaotic world. So without further ado, let's dive into the 10 takeaways from Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. 1. Be grateful for what you have. The first takeaway is to be grateful for what you have and who you are. Marcus Aurelius starts his book by expressing his gratitude to various people who influenced his life, such as his family, his teachers, his friends, and even the gods. He acknowledges the virtues and values that they taught him, such as honesty, justice, generosity, courage, self-control, and piety. He also reminds himself of the blessings that he enjoys as a human being, such as the ability to reason, to communicate, to love, and to learn. He says, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." 2. Focus on what you can control. The second takeaway is to focus on what you can control and not worry about what you can't. Marcus Aurelius was well aware of the unpredictability and uncertainty of life. He faced many troubles and hardships as an emperor, such as wars, plagues, rebellions, betrayals, and personal losses. He knew that he could not control everything that happened to him or around him, but he could control how he reacted to them. He says, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." We should focus on what we can control, our own character, our own choices, our own virtues. We should act according to our reason and conscience, and do what is right and good in every situation. By doing so, we can achieve inner freedom and peace of mind. 3. Live in harmony with nature. The third takeaway is to live in harmony with nature. Marcus Aurelius had a deep reverence for nature and the divine order that governs it. He believed that everything in the universe is connected by a rational principle called logos, which gives meaning and purpose to everything that exists. He also believed that humans are part of nature and share in the logos. He says, "Everything is interwoven in a sacred bond. There is scarcely anything unconnected with anything else." To live in harmony with nature means to live according to our true nature as rational beings who can use their reason to understand the logos and follow its laws. It also means to accept whatever happens as part of the natural order of things and not resist or complain about it. Marcus Aurelius says, "Whatever happens at all happens as it should." You will find this true if you watch narrowly. 4. Be kind and compassionate to others. The fourth takeaway is to be kind and compassionate to others. Marcus Aurelius was not only a philosopher but also a leader and a ruler. He had to deal with many people, some of whom were difficult, annoying, or hostile. He knew that he could not change them or make them behave as he wished, but he could choose how to treat them and respond to them. He says, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize?" Marcus Aurelius advises us to be tolerant and forgiving of other people's faults and mistakes, and not to judge them harshly. He reminds us that we are all human and we all share the same nature and the same logos. He also reminds us that we are all part of a larger community and we should cooperate and help each other for the common good. 5. Practice self-discipline and moderation. The fifth takeaway is to practice self-discipline and moderation. Marcus Aurelius was a man of great self-control and temperance. He did not indulge in excessive pleasures or passions that could distract him from his duties or corrupt his character. He also did not let himself be swayed by fear or anger or any other emotion that could cloud his judgment or impair his reason. He says, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Marcus Aurelius urges us to practice self-discipline and moderation in everything that we do. We should not let ourselves be enslaved by our desires or aversions, but rather master them and use them wisely. We should also not let ourselves be influenced by external things or events that can disturb our peace of mind or divert our attention from what is truly important. 6. Seek wisdom and learn from others. The sixth takeaway is to seek wisdom and learn from others. Marcus Aurelius was a lifelong learner and a humble student of philosophy. He did not claim to have all the answers or to be perfect in any way. He was always open to new ideas and perspectives, and always willing to learn from others, especially from those who had more experience or knowledge than him. He says, "Don't be ashamed to need help. Like a soldier storming a wall, you have a mission to accomplish. And if you've been wounded and you need a comrade to pull you up, so what?" Marcus Aurelius encourages us to seek wisdom and learn from others, especially from those who can teach us something valuable or inspire us to improve ourselves. He also encourages us to read books and study the works of great thinkers and writers who can enrich our minds and souls. 7. Be mindful of the present moment. The seventh takeaway is to be mindful of the present moment. Marcus Aurelius was well aware of the brevity and fragility of life. He knew that he could die at any moment, as could anyone else. He also knew that the past was gone and the future was uncertain. The only thing that he had for sure was the present moment. He says, "Remember that man lives only in the present, in this fleeting instant. All the rest of his life is either past and gone, or not yet revealed." Marcus Aurelius advises us to be mindful of the present moment and not waste it on useless or harmful thoughts or actions. We should not dwell on the past or worry about the future, but rather focus on what we can do here and now. We should also not take anything for granted or postpone anything important, but rather make the most of every opportunity that we have. 8. Prepare yourself for death. The eighth takeaway is to prepare yourself for death. Marcus Aurelius was not afraid of death, nor did he deny it or ignore it. He faced it with courage and dignity, as a natural and inevitable part of life. He also saw it as an opportunity to test his character and his philosophy. He says, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Marcus Aurelius advises us to prepare ourselves for death by living well and doing our duty. We should not be attached to our bodies or our possessions, but rather to our souls and our virtues. We should also not be afraid of what happens after death, but rather trust in the Logos and its justice. 9. Find joy in simple things. The ninth takeaway is to find joy in simple things. Marcus Aurelius was not a pessimist or a cynic, despite his awareness of the troubles and evils of the world. He was able to find joy and beauty in simple things, such as nature, art, music, friendship, and love. He was also able to find joy in his own actions and thoughts, as long as they were aligned with his philosophy and his principles. He says, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Marcus Aurelius encourages us to find joy in simple things and not depend on external things or events for our happiness. We should not chase after vain or fleeting pleasures, but rather seek lasting and meaningful ones. We should also not let ourselves be influenced by other people's opinions or expectations, but rather follow our own inner voice and values. 10. Review your actions and thoughts. The 10th and final takeaway is to review your actions and thoughts. Marcus Aurelius was a man of reflection and introspection. He wrote his meditations as a way of examining his own conscience and evaluating his own progress as a philosopher and a ruler. He was always honest with himself and willing to admit his faults and mistakes. He was also always eager to learn from his experiences and improve himself. He says, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work, as a human being. What do I have to complain of, if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm?" Marcus Aurelius encourages us to review our actions and thoughts regularly and critically. We should not be complacent or arrogant, but rather humble and diligent. We should not be satisfied with mediocrity or conformity, but rather strive for excellence and originality. We should also not be afraid of feedback or criticism, but rather welcome them as opportunities for growth and learning. So these are the 10 takeaways from Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something valuable from it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thank you for watching and see you next time.